Alright, welcome back. This is part 2. I'm going to go over taking a ship plan and making it into 3D walls. We start by getting the, kind of go to edit, open, getting CT7, and here's the plan. So then we just right click, select it, and then save to file. I've already done this and I don't want to change the size because my select might not be exactly the same as last time. There's also a little picture here that we want to select and save. And then we just close that when we're finished. And now we're in Blender. Here we need to set up some stuff. First, I want to go to Scene and I want to turn on metric units and show separate units. Right here the scale currently is 1:1, so one blender unit is equal to 1 meter. N key, open this up here, and we want to have background images. We need to click that to turn them on so we can see them. I'm going to add an image, open the image, the deck plan, and now the deck plan is there, but you can't see it. A couple of reasons for that. First of all, we need to go to like a top-down view, for example, and then we're in perspective mode. We need to be in orth mode, and now you can see the plan. The next problem we have is that the squares in the plan are not as big as the squares here. And beforehand, I just played with it until I found the right numbers. The correct numbers for this plan, for my plan, are 15.8 for the size. And then the X and Y offsets, 0.07 and 0.336. Yours will of course be different. They're not the same. You won't have the same pictures as I do. And if we go down, you can see that the squares are absolutely not right. Why is that? I know why that's not right. Because my squares are currently set at 10 centimeters, and I need to go. And we're done with background. Now we got to set the display. Here the scale is at 1. I actually want the scale to be at 0.5. And now this, you can see that with one square here we have 3 by 3 squares within that. I picked that because my walls are 1 centimeter and 5 centimeters thick, the bulkheads and whatnot. And it really helps to keep all of that lined up. So then the next thing we want to do is delete this box. We want to add in a plane, and then we want to grab that plane and put it here, but we want to have, oops, not that. We want to have snapping on, and snapping should be set to increments. Increments means it's going to go to these little boxes. So now when we grab it, you can see it goes by increments, which is great. We also want to be able to see how big our box is. So I need to turn that on also, which you can't do in, we're currently in object mode. We need to be in edit mode. So then we have edge length right here. And turn that on. Now we can see it's 1 meter by 1 meter, our nice little cube. And I'm now going to shrink that cube down. And I want it to be at 5 centimeters. Which is the thickness of my major bulkheads. And you can see it's jumping between 6 and 5 and 4, so 5 is perfect. And then I want to make sure it's centered. on our lines here. Yeah, it's good enough. Okay, then I want to do edge select instead of vertex select. And I want to select this vertex. And then I'm going to want to extrude that vertex right up to this point. So I extrude it. There. And I want to go just a little bit further. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to go a little further this way. It's still going to do that to me. There's two ways I can do this. I can put them on top of each other and merge them together, or I can just delete these two vertices. Good enough. And now I'm about in the middle, I hope. It's hard to see, it gets blurry. Then I want to extrude again, and I only want to go one, it's going 5 centimeters, which is what I don't want. I want it to only be 1 centimeter because that particular wall is, and you see how it's jumping in 5 centimeter units? If I push shift, it goes to smaller units, which is what I want. And I want it to be 1 centimeter. So now this minor bulkhead for this room here is going to be 1 centimeter thick, which is perfect. And then now I just continue extruding up. Till I get to the next bulkhead. And I repeat the process. One centimeter, and continue extruding. When I get to a curve like this, where I want to have a 5 centimeter thing, first of all, I just go to about the edge of it, about here, extrude, do 1 unit, and now I select the other edge, and continue extruding over. Extrude 5 centimeters, click the other edge, extrude up. So you can see this goes fairly quickly. And this zooming in and out, it changes the amount of grids there, which makes it really easy. To get to what you want. Wasn't big enough, it's hard to see if I get the right thing. U for grab, now I can see my edges again. And it's still going to be a pain in the butt here for some reason. I guess I didn't have the right scale when I did this. And sometimes Blender can be a pain this way. We got 10 centimeters, 10 millimeters. Good enough. It's actually a rounding error. The difference between binary math and base 10 math. Again, the same silly problem, but that's okay. It's good to try to line up these edges, although it's not too critical. And we can always come back and just select this whole edge and move it up and down a little bit, work it out, whatever it takes. You can kind of see here that they're about the same. Another way to do it is that you can go to snap to edge, and I can grab this. That's grabbed, and I can snap it to this edge, but I got to force it to be in the the X plane, now it's forced, and so I can go to here and it snaps to here. Now we know that we're at the same height. It's a good little trick. Don't forget to go back to increment and extrude 5 centimeters, or 4 centimeters and 10 millimeters. Yeah, that wasn't so good. Now I have all these here. Really easiest, quickest way is just to do circle select. Select all this junk that you don't want. X, delete vertices. Oops, too much. Let's see. Well, okay, we'll delete edges then. That should work in this case. It's really hard to tell in this plan, but I think these edges are not bulkheads. That's just going to be my assumption. Perfection isn't really a requirement. I mean, after all, this is really more art than anything, so. You know, I'm making a recording. What do you need? What?
The soup is, it's warm, but the dishwasher isn't done yet.
Yeah. So what's the problem?
Well, what should I do now? I don't really know what I should do.
Well, if everything's cooked, just leave it unwarm.
Okay, it's not cooked yet. The noodles aren't cooked.
Yeah.
Everything is cooked.
Oh yeah. Shut the door. My daughter, she's making lunch for us, which is nice. It's good to have kids that are old enough that they can help. It wasn't quite in the middle where I wanted it, so I just selected the two things and brought it to where I want it. And again, that was obviously a mistake, but not a big one. In this case, it's probably a good idea to extrude across here because we want these lines to line up. Although again, things lining up are not too important. That's my monitor telling me that my eyes are going to burn out if I keep going. Yeah, faults. It's good across doors to continue your work. It gives you something to build the door into if you should want to, and you can always delete it later. So I didn't click the right thing. That's more what I want. I do wish these plans were a little clearer. It'd make it a lot easier. And again, I'm going to use that trick of snapping to an edge. So we grab it, we lock to the Y plane, and then we click on that right there. And now we have it perfect. Couldn't see that, it's too little. Oh. Yeah, I have a little problem here because I didn't have snapping on to the increments like I wanted. Ugh. Sometimes it can be a real pain in the butt. Here, extrude, there, way easier that way now. And now these two are right on top of each other. The easiest way, drop the microphone. The easiest way to fix this problem is to use circle select or something like it. Select all those points, and then remove doubles. You'll see two vertices removed. There's this one, and now this is combined. If you want to verify that, you can click on point select. Now I've selected the point, and you can see that it does this orange fade out in both directions. So you know if you only have one point selected and it's fading out to orange, that you don't have 2 points there. If there were 2 points there, it would fade out in orange this way, but not in this way. It would just stay black. So you could tell that that mistake had been made. So now I just, oops, going back to edge select. Now I just continue what I've been doing. I hit shift there, that's why I just did that. It's an automatic thing. Don't want 5 centimeters here, it's a thin wall, I only want 1 centimeter. There's 1 centimeter. I don't know if I did it last time, but it's good on these doorways to actually do 5 centimeter block and then continue across the doorway. Another 5 centimeter block. Continue this down to here. And with luck, these line up. I didn't have any luck. So what we'll do is go to the select, with a circle that is. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I grabbed it. That's okay. Okay, back to circle select here. And that's a mistake. I'm gonna get rid of that. Good, now we want this. Now back to circle select. And we'll select everything in this line. But not those lines. These lines, these two here, they don't need to slide over. So we'll deselect those. And now we can go down here. We can do our snap to edge. Grab everything and snap. You can see it's snapping to this edge, which is okay. We'll leave it there for a second. I think instead I'm going to snap to a vertex. There. It's easier. Circle select. You can see here it's not selecting what's underneath. If that's a problem, you've got to make your, this right here, will make you able to see through vertices, makes them clear, and now you can select them. And then we can remove doubles, should have two removed, and now that's a solid line. And everything's, yeah, I get kind of stupid there. Okay. Undo, oops, undo. The reason I get stupid is because what? It's a good question. I'm moving too much. I'm going to go to vertices select. I don't want these vertices. Or do I? Definitely want that. And that. But what we do want is we want to limit it to the X plane when I do this. So I go down here, drawing C, I grab it, yeah, and I limit it. Seeing I can't go up and down, I can only go side to side. And now, I can go here. Now it's correct. You can see it's correct. And then I can just grab this, no, I'm on vertex select, and bring them down to that point. And back to what we were doing with escape, get you out of that if you accidentally grab something. And then we select the points, remove doubles, and life is wonderful again. If this at this point is starting to get boring, don't feel bad about fast forwarding. You can see there's still quite a bit of detail work to do. Matter of fact, I think I'm just going to end the video here. There's not too much more I can show you. Yeah, it's the same techniques repeated over and over, and of course doing these other two things separately. And then in the third video, I'm going to come back and go from a 2D view, which we currently have, a 2D object, and I'll bring it up into 3D. That's a good second or third video. So, thanks for watching, and I hope you found this useful.